There are places on this earth where time does not heal wounds, places where silence screams louder than words, where the past never truly died. Tonight, we travel to a small village in France, a village frozen in agony, grief, and unanswered horror. This is not a legend. This is not a myth. This is Oradour-sur-Glane, and some say the dead here never left. But Oradour-sur-Glane appears peaceful at first glance. You see cracked stone walls, rusted cars, and empty streets. But no children laugh here, no doors open, no lives continue. On June 10, 1944, Nazi SS soldiers entered this village under false pretenses. They claimed they were searching for hidden weapons and resistance fighters. The villagers, unsuspecting, were gathered together. The men were separated and taken to barns. The women and children were herded into the local church. What happened next was an act of unimaginable brutality. Within hours, 642 innocent civilians, men, women, and children were systematically murdered. The men were shot. The women and children were gassed and burned alive inside the church. The village was then looted and set ablaze. Its people, its homes, its entire existence were erased. But unlike other towns destroyed in the war, Oradour was never rebuilt. After the liberation of France, General Charles de Gaulle made a solemn decision. He declared that the village would be preserved exactly as the soldiers left a permanent open-air scar on the face of history, a memorial of silence, a graveyard without graves, where the very stones cry out in remembrance of the massacre. It serves as a stark, chilling reminder of the atrocities of war. At the heart of Oradour stands the ruined church. This is where the women and children were locked inside. This is where fire was set. This is where hope died screaming. Today, when you step inside the ruins, many visitors describe an immediate and unsettling change, a heavy pressure in the chest, a sudden ringing in the ears, and the profound, unshakable sense of being watched by unseen eyes. The air feels thick with sorrow. Some who have dared to linger within these consecrated walls claim they hear whispers carried on the wind-faint prayers in French. Tragically cut short, they report hearing names being called out, as if searching for loved ones in the chaos. Others swear they can hear the distant, muffled sounds of children crying, an echo of terror that has stained this place for decades, even though the village has been empty and silent for generations. And then there's the bell. The old church bell, melted and deformed by the intense heat of the fire, hangs silently in its ruined tower. Yet, according to local legend and several witness accounts, the bell sometimes rings on its own, a single mournful toll that cuts through the silence, even though it hasn't been connected to any ropes or mechanisms for over 70 years. It's as if the church itself refuses to forget the moment its congregation was lost. Tourists often arrive curious, drawn by the tragic history. They rarely leave unchanged. Many report sudden, unexplained physical symptoms while walking the desolate streets. It's a feeling of not being welcome, a sense of trespassing on sacred grieving ground. Digital screens flicker with static. But sometimes something does appear. One photographer later shared his chilling experience. When I developed the film, there were shapes standing in the church doorway. These shadowy figures, fleeting anomalies caught on camera, are a recurring phenomenon. Security guards assigned to patrol the memorial site refuse to work the night shifts. They report hearing disembodied footsteps on the gravel paths, faint murmurs and voices from within the burned-out houses, and seeing movement in the deep shadows where no living person should be. What makes Oradour so terrifying isn't what you see, it's what you feel. It's an invisible weight that settles on you the moment you enter, as if the air itself is heavy with the memory of what happened. It's a profound sense of sadness that seeps into your bones. Some visitors say the village feels angry, resentful of the intrusion. Others say it just feels unbearably sad, trapped in a loop of its final day. But many agree on one chilling sensation. It does not want to be forgotten. Every broken home, every rusted bicycle left leaning against a wall, every child's shoe abandoned in the dust. They all remain exactly as they were on that day in 1944. Frozen moments in time, waiting for owners who will never return. The silence in Oradour is not empty. It's filled with the echoes of lives cut short. It's a presence you can't see, but you can feel it watching you from every darkened window and every empty doorway. So why might the spirits of Oradour still linger? Psychologists and paranormal researchers have a theory known as place memory, or the stone tape theory. They suggest that a traumatic event of this magnitude, a sudden, violent end for hundreds of people at one scan, imprint itself onto the physical environment. Oradour was not just destroyed, it was interrupted. Lives were stopped mid-sentence. There were no goodbyes, no last words, no closure for the souls who perished here. Perhaps the spirits remain because they were never meant to die that day, in that way. Perhaps they stay to bear witness, to ensure that their story is never silenced. Perhaps they are trapped in that single, horrific moment when time stopped for them forever. Oradour-sur-Glane stands today as a solemn warning to humanity, a warning of cruelty, of hatred, and of what happens when evil is allowed to act unchecked. It is a lesson written in ash and stone. If you ever have the chance to visit, walk respectfully, speak in hushed tones, and listen carefully to the silence. Because some say if you stay too long in Oradour, the village remembers you too. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more journeys into the world's most haunting places.